52 and 1-866-6775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and first-timer on Ron Siegel Radio. Lee Petros is with us. Welcome.
Thank you, Ron.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Hey, great broadcast lined up for you today, as I believe we have every day, even though our internet connection is out. See how we do working on a hotspot. We're going to just see where it takes us. James Festini, great real estate professional in the house today. Good to see you with us, James. Yeah, have any comments, go ahead and throw them right there in the chat. We'll see if we can get to them. But let's take a look and see. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. I love celebrating. Let's see what's going on in the world of celebrations. Today, there's a lot. National Train Your Brain Day. Okay, my brain might need a lot of training. Yorkshire Pudding Day. Does anybody like Yorkshire pudding? I don't know about that one. National Metastatic Breast Cancer Awareness Day. Yep, we gotta celebrate that one. I don't know about this one because it could get me in trouble, but I'm used to getting in trouble because today is No Bra Day. I don't know where to go with that one, so I am not going to say anything. Emergency Nurses Day, Bring Your Teddy Bear to Work Day. And the best one, we saved the best for last today, and I will say a big thank you. In fact, I'm surprised that Josh, we're going to have to harass our friends over at Geneva because they usually give us a great graphic. Today's the Navy's birthday. So thank you to the men and women who serve in the United States Navy. We appreciate you every day. But on the birthday of the Navy, we are especially thankful. So thank you for your service. Thank you for what you do for our country, for our freedom. If it wasn't for the men and women of the United States military, and there's people like me that couldn't get up here and speak things that, they're not always in line with what the state has in mind. They're not always in line with what the federal government has in mind. But we can still say it because of the men and women of the United States military. So we thank you every single day. We appreciate you. Let's take a look at the markets. It's been another one of those rocky roads, not the ice cream, but it's been a rocky road on the Dow Jones today. We started up a little bit. Now we're down 109 points. The S&P 500 down 141. The NASDAQ is up 57.5. Oil down 5 cents per barrel. See what's going on. Should we look at it? I don't want to know if I want to let Josh laugh at me again today. But we'll look at it. Okay, Lori, you're at 3. Well, Lori's going up. 301.7. Our great underwriter, Lori in Louisiana. 301.7. There are still a couple of states in the union. Texas, $2.92.2 are the lowest price gasoline in the country. Oklahoma, $2.93.6. The oil-producing state of Hawaii, $4.16. I'll have to go check that one for sure, just to do my own survey over there. $3.28 a gallon, $3.29 a gallon is the national average. Josh, you're 387.7. Okay, 444.8 right here in the formerly Golden State. 444.8 is what we're paying for a gallon of gasoline right here. Hey, elections have consequences, right? And I know that Fake Book is going to say that the president has nothing to do with gas prices. Well, it could be true, but the fact of the matter is we do know when gas prices started going up. Is it a coincidence? Oh,
You know better than that.
right on. Let's move along. Social Security benefits jumped to 5.9% in 2022. Biggest increase in 40 years. So our seniors are going to get a nice little raise out there. I understand also, so talking about seniors, how about this one, 90 years old. Bill Shatner this morning, 90 years old. I don't know if he went on Priceline or not to get his ticket to go out into space today, but he did make that trip. I saw when I left for the studio this morning, they were on a bit of a delay. So I think that they did make their trip out there. Whopping 10 minutes is what he was going to spend in space. 10 minutes. 90 years old, so he did go out there. He went, Jeff Bezos drove. How do you have to have Jeff Bezos as your chauffeur? Right? So he drove William Shatner and the rest of the crew over to the launch. So Jeff Bezos was the chauffeur there for that 2-mile drive. I guess if you're going to charge somebody $250,000 to take a 10-minute ride, well, maybe you'll drive him yourself. I just throw that out there. But again, I did ask this question. Some of our social media channels had some commentary on there. It wasn't very nice, right? But I don't know. Maybe Bill Shatner did go on Priceline and get that ticket. Maybe he paid less than $250,000. We'll see. Moving right along. Let's see what else is going on in the news. How about this one? Realtor.com. They came up with a new study. They do all the time. And again, they're probably a little bit biased, right? They make a lot of money on advertising. Other than that, they're not in the real estate business per se, but they charge for advertising. Housing affordability improves for the second consecutive month. Why would that be? Prices going down? No. Wages, they're going up. That's the issue. So as wages go up, interest rates are still low. Right? Freddie Mac came out with their number. The interest rates ticked down about 0.2 of a point from week to week. So I share that with you. They come out with their numbers every Thursday. September 30th, 3.01 was the 30-year fixed rate from Freddie Mac. October 7th, it came at 2.99 was the 30-year fixed rate. You can pay a little bit to get that, but those are great numbers. If you look at history, which, I look at history, I'm a bit old. So we talk about that. So we're checking that out, seeing the great affordability numbers. Now, I shared with you, we talked about this earlier in the week, that the rate of appreciation is going to decelerate. No, we are not going to see prices fall on real estate. Not going to happen. Too much demand. But here's the issue. I think I saw that Phoenix went up at 30% was their year over year as of last month. 30%, too fast, right? 17, 18%, too fast. We want it to go down to 6, 7, 8%. That's where the healthy numbers are. So we do want to continue watching them. Healthy numbers, healthy appreciation. The affordability is good. Now, I don't know, maybe the affordability is being helped because another one of the reports that came out showing that co-buying has skyrocketed. Co-buying. Yeah, that real estate. So it's meaning multifamily, maybe buying, maybe mom and dad are helping. Now, this did come out from Adam Data Solutions. They've got some sketchy history on their reporting. But people buying houses, so maybe mom and dad are helping little Johnny buy a house. Could be an interesting subject. Now, being the contrarian that I am, and we talk a lot about divorce. You know that I am a certified divorce lending professional. I've got that designation, went through the schooling. But could that be a divorce protection? Think about that concept. And, I don't go through and do the divorce decrees, but I do consult on quite a few of them. But here's the issue. If I'm going to give money to my kids to buy a house, Am I going to give it to them with a 70% of first-time marriages ending in divorce in Orange County, California? Maybe I want to give them a loan to buy that house. And yeah, there's certain ways of doing it. Maybe I want to be on title with them. So just in the event that there is a problem, maybe there's a built-in solution and the money that I worked for isn't going somewhere else. Just throw that out there for you. There are all these different kinds of solutions that we can deal with. But that's just a thought. I wonder if that's the reason that we're seeing these things move the way they are. Just a thought. Put your comments in there. I'm always interested in your opinions. And if you're watching us on any of our social channels, we monitor the comments. Sometimes we share them. I'm glad that James tells us that our feed is clear with the hotspot. So good news there, because I'd hate to be breaking up. No pun intended on that one. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, the big question, should you renovate or move? We're going to talk about that. A trust. What do we need to know about trusts? Do we really want to die? Well, we don't want to die in the first place. I don't know anybody that's told me. Well, I know a couple people that have told me that they want to, but very few. But the greatest gift you can give to your heirs is setting up a trust. And we're going to learn a bit about trusts today, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit RonSiegelRadio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial when you're ready for that next home loan. Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Well, let's take a look and see what the markets are doing today. Let me get back to where they were because for some reason I've got the wrong screen up. What happens when you leave me to do something here, Josh? Dow Jones now down 110 points. NASDAQ is up 58 points. We'll look at the S&P 500 down 157. 10-year Treasury is down 2. Great auction yesterday on the 10-year Treasury. That was good for our seniors. Going to be careful of these numbers today, though, because the Federal Reserve makes their announcement today. They release their minutes. Historically, Federal Reserve minutes are not good for the markets. But, hey, history is kind of a weird thing right now. Mortgage-backed securities are up 11 basis points. That means interest rates are down a little bit. Mortgage Bankers Association released their mortgage application data for the week ended October 8th, showing that overall application volume increased by 0.2%. Applications to purchase a home up 2%. Refinances decreased by 1%. See what else is going on in the news that you need to know about. Consumer Price Index measures inflation on a consumer level, was reported at 0.4%, which was above expectations. Does that surprise anybody that inflation is going higher than we expected?
Surprise.
Yeah, so we're increased. It was above the expectations of 0.3 and increased by 0.1 to 5.4% year over year, exceeding the expectations of 5.3. Core CPI takes out the food and energy prices, increased by 0.2% for September and remained flat at 4% year over year, in line with expectations. And here's the big question I'm going to throw at you. Maybe you know the answer because very few people do. Why are people leaving their jobs? 4.3 million people quit their job in August. 3% of the workforce, the highest level on record, led by food and retail industries with almost 7% of restaurants, bars, and hotels, and 5% of retail workers leaving. 7% at the restaurants, bars, and hotels. And I know that for sure a lot of those places are anxious to get people to work. Why are they quitting there? Yeah, that's a good question. We'll be finding that out. For good or bad, we'll figure it out, or it'll come to fruition. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial when you're ready for that next home loan. Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990. And be sure to get the greatest app on the market, my opinion. Go to ronismylender.com, ronismylender.com, and you get a great mobile app, mortgage calculators, search for houses, pre-approval letters, applications, all right there. So just throw that out there for you. That is the Mortgage Minute. Hey, let's chat a little bit. Lee Petros is with us. He is an attorney, not giving us legal advice today. If you want legal advice from Lee, give me a call at 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with him. You can call his office, make an appointment. That's how he supports his family. But glad to have you with us and sharing some educational information.
Thank you for having me, Ron. I appreciate it.
So we're going to talk about your specialty is trusts, probate.
Yes, our office, we do handle probate and trusts. Estate planning is the process before you get to the probate, but we handle all sorts from the beginning to the end.
So the probate is when you did things wrong, my opinion, or didn't make proper plans, and you want the state to take care of your assets.
You do. I mean, it's a public process. It's the court system, and as we all know, in the last year and a half with coronavirus, the courts have been pretty much upside down. So anything you can do to avoid it is something that you should do.
So what can I do to avoid that probate?
When you create a trust, essentially, that's a way of avoiding probate because you essentially transfer the property while you're alive into the vehicle, which is the trust. And then from there, you name people to basically be your trustees after you pass. and they can handle all that without court intervention.
So for a simple guy like me, when you say the trustees, is that basically the people that are going to act on my behalf after I pass?
Yes, a typical example, if while you're alive, if you're married, it'd be the husband and wife who act as the trustees, and then when one of them passes, the survivor continues to act as trustees, and then once the second to pass has passed away, then you've named somebody else in there, whether it be a family member, a professional, children. They act to kind of carry out the wishes that you set forth in your trust.
Now, I'm a big fan of having a professional do that. Is that something that's recommended, or is there a recommendation?
I always recommend that a professional does that. I mean, I know there's different types of vehicles out there that you can do almost like a do-it-yourself. The biggest mistake, though, is funding the trust where actually the assets are not transferred into the trust, which can be a problem later on.
So one of the broadcasts we did several years ago, they were talking about the fact that maybe 5% of the people have a trust, and of that 5%, 80% of them are not funded properly.
I haven't seen that statistic, but I wouldn't question it because I've seen a lot of that in my practice where people come in and for whatever reason, the typical example is after you've done a trust, and even if you have a professional do it, sometimes if you refinance a house, it comes out of the trust and never goes back in. So that's probably the most common issue that I would see.
So am I just out of luck then, or is there anything I can do if I had my property in the trust and it comes out of the trust and didn't get put back in properly? Will the court look at it and say, well, we can see what the intent was and some outside party fouled up, or will the court say, something, you should have known better?
No, there is a mechanism to go into court. It's a petition that you ask the court to determine that this asset was part of the trust. It just, for whatever reason, wasn't put into the trust. So you do have to go to court. It's not a full probate, so it doesn't require all the valuations and hoops that you have to go through when it's probate, but you do have to petition the court to have it put into the trust.
And that's a big issue because, and I hear that, just ironic enough, I was just chatting with somebody this week. I don't remember who it was, when it was, but in any event, they were talking about the fact that a lot of times with some of these online services, they don't look at the trust, or some of the banks even look at it and they say, well, we don't lend to trusts. Well, that's true. They lend to people, and the property has to be addressed either by a full review of the trust by the lender to see if the people have the authority to refinance, or you can take the property out of the trust, but you have to know that, hey, someone's got to make sure it gets put back in.
That's correct.
Right? That's the whole issue.
That's
right
the
there.
whole issue. And essentially it's that last step, which really involves another grant deed. And, it's very simple to do. It's not very difficult. It's just that once somebody does that step and refinances, that the person that's done the loan, that's not what their job is. So sometimes it will just fall through the cracks.
Yeah, so you have to have either you have to make sure you tell your lender and the escrow company. In California, we use escrow. Some of the other states that might be listening, you're in attorney states, but California, you're in an escrow state. Tell your loan officer and your escrow agent, hey, we need to have that second grant deed. Is that what the vehicle that does that?
Exactly. I mean, if they're going to prepare the grant deed to take it out of the trust, they should just at the same time prepare it to go back in. And then once the loan is finalized, once the refinance is complete, then you can record it back into the trust. And the other thing too, just to add to that, even if you had that deed that was executed to put it back into the trust and it wasn't recorded, that can be recorded at some time later. I have the situation now where we're recording a deed that was probably 20 years old that we had the original that we're able to put back in to avoid any sort of probate issues.
Okay, so you can go back and so it's not like you have to do it that minute.
No,
you should.
Correct. Yeah,
should do it right away. We want to make sure that it's done properly, but you can get away with not doing it right then. Now we've talked a little bit about trusts and we've talked a little bit about probate. Where does a will fit into all of this?
Well, a will is an estate planning mechanism. The difference is that you go to court, or you have to go to probate if you have not done any sort of estate planning, which means you're intestate, you don't have any sort of plans, or if you have a will, because a will, you can say, I'm going to give my property to my children, but you're not actually transferring title. So if you think about it, that if you have a house and it's in one person's name and they leave a will saying, I want this property to go to my son, and that person passes away, who's going to sign that deed to transfer the property? That's why you have to go to court to have an order from probate to do that.
So the court is actually acting in your behalf in that case. They know what you want to do because you left the will.
Correct.
Now, you don't have to have a will for probate, do you? If I don't do a will at all, then what happens?
Well, the difference is there's a couple things. First of all, if you've not done a will, you're still going to probate. And in that event, most likely the court will require a bond. So the bond is going to be based on the value of the property. So that's an additional expense. You know, most wills will indicate that the bond is waived. So you're looking at basically trying to pare down your expenses. Probate, you're going to have expenses because the fees are based statutorily on the value of the estate. So it starts at a 4%, a 3%, 2%, 1%. So, you know, to look at, like, if you had a $1 million estate, which in California is pretty easy because of the value of properties, to probate $1 million estate is roughly $23,000. So
wow,
that's an expense that you can avoid by doing a trust.
So when you say it's the value of the property, is it the my equity, or is it the market value, or the assessed value?
It's basically what happens in a probate. There is a referee that the court orders, and that referee will do an evaluation. So they'll look at MLS listings and come up with a value of what the property is. So that gets filed with the court. That also adds to the expense because the filing fees that go to the court are based on that value. So it's a combination of factors.
Wow. We're going to talk more with Lee Petros when we come back. You learning about estate planning. I say it's the best gift you can give to your heirs, but we'll talk and see if Lee agrees with that. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to also chat a little bit about should you renovate or move? We'll talk about that one. And we're going to also, I think we got a featured home today too, don't we, Josh? Got a featured home that we'll talk about that as well. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments, paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message. And I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Digest tells you what the market believes about your property, what the county recorder knows about your property. Monthly email updating those numbers for you. And it's a gift from Ron Siegel Radio. The big question, should you renovate or move? Last 18 months changed what many buyers are looking for in a home. Recently, the American Institute of Architects released their AIA Home Design Trend Survey. Results for quarter 3, 2021. The survey reveals the following. 70% of respondents want more outdoor living space. 69% of respondents want a home office. 48% wanted multiple offices. 46% of respondents want a multi-function room, a flexible space. 42% of respondents want a pair or in-law suite. I don't know about that one. 39% of respondents want an exercise room or yoga space. That would definitely not be for me. If you're a homeowner who wants to add any of the above, you have two options. Renovate your current house or buy a home that already has the spaces you desire. The decision you make could be determined by factors like 1, a possible desire to relocate, 2, the difference in cost of renovation versus a purchase, 3, finding an existing home or designing a home that has exactly what you want versus trying to restructure the layout of your current house. In any case, you'll need access to capital. That's money. The funds for the renovation or the down payment your next home would require. Great news is that the money you need probably already exists in your current home in the form of equity. Home equity is skyrocketing. The record-setting increases in home prices over the last 2 years dramatically improved homeowners' equity. And if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials at ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you're seeing a graph from CoreLogic that shows the average home equity gain in the first quarter of the last 9 years. Average home first quarter year over year home equity gain. Holy cow! It looks like a cliff. And if you look at the first quarter of 2013, about 4,500. So you look at the first quarter 2021, it's at 32,000, 33,000, somewhere in there. Odetta Cushy, chief economist at First American, quantifies the amount of equity homeowners gained recently. Quote, remember, U.S. households own nearly $35 trillion in owner-occupied real estate, just over $11 trillion in debt, and the remaining $24 trillion in equity. In inflation-adjusted terms, homeowners in the second quarter had an average of $280,000 in equity, a historic high, unquote. As a homeowner, the money you need to purchase the perfect home or renovate your current house maybe right at your fingertips. However, waiting to make your decision may increase the cost of tapping into that equity. If you decide to renovate, you'll need to refinance or take out an equity loan to access the equity. If you decide to move instead and use your equity as a down payment, you'll need to mortgage the remaining difference between the down payment and the cost of your next home. Mortgage rates are forecast to increase over the next year. Waiting to leverage your equity will probably mean you'll pay more to do so. According to the latest data from the Federal Housing Finance Agency, almost 57% of current mortgage holders have a mortgage rate of 4% or below. That means 43% of you are still over 4%. Not good. If you're one of the 43% of homeowners with a mortgage rate over 4%, you may be able to do a cash out refinance or buy a more expensive home without significantly increasing your monthly payment. First step to determine the amount of your equity. If you're ready to either redesign your current house or find an existing or newly constructed home that has everything you want, the first thing to do is to determine how much equity you have in your current home. Simple math. Take your current mortgage balance, subtract that from the value of your home. Pretty simple right there. If you don't know those numbers, just give me a call, 800-306-1990. Our team will be more than happy to help you with this. Again, that is the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Continuing our conversation, Attorney Lee Petros is in the house with us, chatting about estate planning. So, this is a fascinating subject because it's one of those taboos. People don't like to talk about death.
No.
Right?
Why would you?
It's not like you get up in the morning and I think I want to go chat about dying today. Right?
No. I mean, it's not a popular discussion.
So I'm a big believer that doing proper estate planning is smart, is a great gift for your heirs.
I agree with that. I've been practicing attorney for about 24 years. And one of the things I do know is like in the legal profession, a lot of times it's negative because you're going to attorney because you have a problem.
Right.
With estate planning, it's not, it's you're doing something positive. So I do get a lot of, I do appreciate that. I appreciate helping my clients. And when you say a gift, I think one of the reasons why I kind of gravitated to this is when I was 21, my father passed away unexpectedly, and he was only 42 years old.
Wow.
And that left, I was the oldest. I have a younger brother, younger sister, my mom. And emotionally, the hurt never goes away, but that was 33 years ago. And it was something that my father had his estate plan set up. He had life insurance, he had the trust, the will, all that. So from the perspective of, our lives, it didn't change. I was in college at the time. I didn't have to stop and get a job and change my lifestyle. So it allowed us to kind of continue on where we've all, finished our school, have families, have kind of prospered on. I mean, you never lose. You never lose the hurt, but at least
they say time heals.
No,
it doesn't. And I haven't found the length of time yet. So
no,
I guess listening to you and being down it a little longer, or a little out. No, it doesn't go.
It doesn't go. I mean, it gets less painful, but the memory is always there.
Right. So.
But as far as a gift, it is a gift because, you can really help your family out. It goes beyond just, a gift. You could say, I'm take my family on vacation, which is great. They enjoy it, but then it's over with. Something like this, can really change their lives from the perspective that they don't have to, completely change their lifestyle.
Yeah, that's an amazing, and you made an interesting point in the last segment. And if you missed it, shame on you, but the replay is available, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. But the median price of a home in Orange County, California is $836,000. Right. So, and you were saying, it's not a stretch to have $1 million property in Orange County.
Absolutely.
Right.
Not.
When you start saying that half the homes are more than that 836 and half are less, obviously there's a lot that $1 million range. And what did you say the cost was roughly?
On $1 million estate, I'm just going to say rough estimate is about $23,000.
23,000. Now, I don't know. I've talked to a lot of trust attorneys. I'm not going to get specific, but the cost of a trust is probably somewhere around 15 or 20% of that, give or take. 25%.
Yeah,
a lot less.
A lot less. No, I mean it's a lot less. It all depends on the
complexity.
Right.
So the bottom line is, and now probate is do I get to keep all my stuff private in probate?
No, it's in front of the court system, so it's public. Anyone can go down and look up all your all your dirty laundry, so to speak, because you're always going to have I've seen family disputes, and it makes its way into court paperwork, court documents, so it's all there.
It's all there, and I can tell you because, and I throw that to Lee because he's the expert, but I do get an email every month for all the new probate cases of Orange County and all of the new, actually more, I think it's more the decedents of Orange County and the decedents in Riverside County, and that are probate.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of them.
There are a lot. Every time something gets filed, like when I file probates, within a week, I'm getting either a call or some sort of, literature on, hey, I can help you sell this property. I mean, there's people that actually, they pay others to go down to the court and look at the public records.
Sure. So if you're trying to keep it now, let's flip the coin then, Lee. On the trust side, is that public or private?
That's private. The only thing that gets recorded there is the deed saying that the deed has gone from husband and wife to the husband and wife trust. There's nothing that goes into the court. We typically don't record trusts and things like that. They're private, so it's pretty much kept.
And then once the successor trustees are named, does those are the people that are going to take care of the property post passing?
Correct.
Right. So are they then, does the property then transfer to them post passing?
It doesn't transfer to them. Essentially, they become the trustees. So they'll show us the trustees of the trust and able to do,
So it's still in the name of the trust. It's just new trustees.
The trust. One other point I wanted to bring out too is when you talk about estate planning, people have, I always tell people, like, if you leave a will and you're leaving it to your kids, they're going to get that asset as soon as they turn 18. So with a trust, you can also limit it, saying, I don't want them to receive the full benefits, like the corpus of the trust, until it's reached a certain age. So I always tell the example, like if somebody gets a bucket of money at the age of 18 versus 25 or 30,
I know what I would have been doing.
Right.
That's not good.
Right. And so that's the other aspect of a trust that you can control.
So we're going to talk more about that money transfer or asset transfer when we come back with Lee Petros. And we also have a featured home we'll bring to you as well. You can reach me anytime, off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at RonIsMyLender.com. That's RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The featured home segment today being brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. 4748 Panorama Drive, San Diego. 3 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms. Jim Scott, Crystal Lombardi have this listing, $1,395,000. 2018 pricing. Tired of paying $750 a foot? Best value in University Heights at $480 a square foot. Wow. Sweeping views from coast to mountains. Amazing ADU potential for a canyon apartment. Located on a canyon lot on prestigious palm tree-lined Panorama Drive. Home offers views from all levels with privacy and exclusivity. The view deck, perched over Mission Valley, is big enough for a large dining table and comfortable couch and chair seating. A pergola with built-in ceiling heaters and retractable shades is an amazing space for entertaining all year. I don't even know what a pergola is. I don't. $1,395,000 is the list price. Let's get some financing options. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, ABC News and Talk video feed, you're going to see this, $5,904 a month with 10% down. $5,248 a month, 20% down. And if you put 25% down strategically, you're looking at $4,482 a month. Those are principal and interest fees only. You have to add the taxes, the insurance, no HOAs here, and the mortgage insurance if there is any. And for those of you keeping score, compliance people, I know you're there, so I will tell you that's a 4.098 APR, 3.975 APR, and 3.326 APR. NMLS 217037. Again, it is 4748 Panorama Drive, San Diego. Jim Scott, Crystal Lombardi have the listing, $1,395,000. Could make it yours. Maybe. Got to make an offer first. And if you are thinking about buying a house, don't forget, all you have to do is text HBG to 79564. Get our home buyer's guide. We create a new one every quarter. Text HBG 79564. You can go to rsrhbg.com. Again, that's the featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. Continuing our conversation, Lee Petros is with us this morning. We are chatting about estate planning and and trusts and wills and taking care of your business ahead of time. Talked about expenses. I'm going to throw this actually. So I've had some folks that have come on the show, and they said everybody in the entire state has an estate plan. Either a plan of your choice or a plan that the state will make the choices for you.
That's accurate.
Is that fit?
Accurate. We talked about obviously intestacy because that's the state's plan for you.
Right. So they get to figure it out. What's the timing nowadays? I mean, before COVID, I was told it was 18 months. I don't know if that's true or not for probate.
It varies. I mean, obviously it depends on the county that you're in because each county is a little bit different. But in Orange County, for example, probate is a two-step process. The first step is getting the ability to act on behalf of the estate. So for example, the first part is you request the court to say, I'm the person that wants to act on behalf of the estate. After that first step, then you have to kind of marshal, gather all the funds, pay the bills, the creditors, and then essentially the next step is to request that the state be, finalized. And that petition, when the first part of it is probably, let's say, 45 to 60 days on average.
Okay.
The next step is it can take, you can file something like today and not get a hearing date till July or August of next year. So there's a big spread there in terms of timing.
That's a fascinating thought there. And, I hadn't even thought about this until you're going through and saying that, and then thinking about, I think yesterday we did a broadcast and we talked about how quickly you can exhaust your equity in a forbearance. Now, the question I would pose to you, Lee, is, say, a person dies and they've got a piece of real estate. Obviously, if they didn't own it free and clear, they had some sort of a mortgage. It was a reverse mortgage, they're fine. But if they had a forward mortgage they're making payments on, where does the funding come for those payments that have to be made?
Well, a lot of times, I mean, sometimes the individual that passed away may have a bank account that can cover the mortgage. Other times, the beneficiaries will have to cover the mortgage and get credited for that through the estate. A lot of times, at least from the perspective of that first part or first piece of the probate, when you have the ability to kind of act on behalf of the estate, you can make decisions at that point in time whether you want to sell the house, because if you can't afford to make the payments, that may be a decision. If you can afford to make the payments and want to keep the house for whatever reason, you can make that decision as well.
Interesting. So, but you have to get the authority. If you want to keep it, you have a fair amount of time to refinance it, or if you need to, or however it has to be dealt with.
Typically in the probate, I mean, that might be more on your side, but I don't know the lender if they're going to refinance while the property's still in probate. They have to wait till it actually goes to somebody. So
somebody has the authority to take a lien on. They have the title and the authority to take a lien.
Correct.
That makes sense. So, and these are things that you have to think about. Now, you're talking about a significant amount of time now, so you can actually get that authority to make decisions within about 90 days.
Yeah, you can, because that's, like I said, that's the first step, essentially, where you're requesting the court that you have the ability to act on behalf of the estate.
It's amazing how involved it could get if you don't take action early.
There's a lot of steps involved in the probate. I mean, there's, as I indicated, you have to notify creditors. You have to do a publication at the onset to say that, that this estate's being probated, so that everyone kind of knows what's going on, going back to that public issue. So there's a lot of steps there that are involved in the probate that are not involved when you have a trust, because that's the private side. So
the idea here is you want to make sure you're taking care of business, get that trust done. How long does it take to create a trust?
Usually, depending upon the complexity, from start to finish, you can, I try to, my goal is from the start to the finish is 2 to 3 weeks, where I can meet with people, see what they need. And that's, sometimes it's a little bit less. I mean, I've done situations where somebody comes in on an emergency basis and we've been able to take care of things. And, so you try to keep it in that range, because otherwise it's just it's I'm not benefiting, my clients aren't benefiting from that service.
So if you, unfortunately, in the case that if you do have a ill relative, they can still get it done, if time is limited.
They can. I mean, it's not a preferential way to do it. I always tell people, when you have the ability to kind of think, to say what you want to have happen, that's the best way to do it. Sometimes when you're in an emergency basis, that's not the best way to make decisions. And the one point I'll also add is to the benefit of the trust versus a probate. I mean, every family has their own issues. And the one thing about, if you have not done your estate planning, the state's going to say, well, if you have, let's say you had no spouse, no children, it's going to go to your siblings. And maybe you don't get along with one of them. So those are several reasons why you should control how you want assets passed.
So the state's going to make decisions for you unless you decide to make your own decisions.
Exactly.
Give a call to 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with Lee Petros so he can help you take care of these things. And as always, I ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.